channeling my Spice Girl dreams. I'm literally who I always wanted to be since I was 16 right now. Okay, so today we're going to be doing some personalized business channeling, which I can't wait for. So I'm just going to wait for everyone to tap in. Please, when you come in, can you comment so that I can see that you're here, so I can start connecting to the energy. So I see one person here so far, 2 people. Please comment below and let me know you're here, because I'm going to channel your asses while being a Spice Girl. Oh my God, my cheeks hurt from smiling so much. So if you are wanting to have an intuitive business channeling on you or your body or whatever you would like it to be on, we're going to be really talking about stacking our programs and going underneath the surface as to what's going on. So when you're feeling like maybe you're at a bit of plateau, whether it be in your body, whether it be in your business, and you're feeling like there's an energetic mismatch. So let's say you're kind of at the point where you're like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm amazing and I love everything that I'm doing, but I feel like the results should be so much more. Like, I feel like my business should be doing better. I feel like my program should be fuller, and I'm feeling almost underwhelmed by my own results. So we're going to really tap into that and getting to the bottom of that and what causes that, because there are reasons that happens. That doesn't happen for no reason. And we're going to really start going into that. So if you would like a business channeling, please comment below and say hi. I do see Natalia. So because I like to see your faces, I like to see your bubbles so that I can get acquainted with you guys. And then I can even start tapping in and intuitively channeling into you and your business and your mindset and all the little stuff. So I'm not seeing any comments yet. So if you want to continue to put like an emoji or a hand up or a me, then it'll help to get the live flowing so that I can start to see who's here. It's going to be good. It's going to be juicy. And you're going to see the power of intuition. You're going to see the power of soul. You're going to see the power of leading with soul versus leading with your human. And when you can do that, and when you can dig down under to the next layer, this is the spot where you're finally like, okay, this is a match. Finally. Like, you know that spot where you're like, this just feels like a mismatch. Like, this feels not where I'm supposed to be. I feel like I should be further ahead. I feel like my programs should be fuller. I feel like, and you just have this idea of what you know is meant for you, and it's just not matching up. Again, there is a reason that happens, and it can be defense mechanisms, it can be shrinking down, it can be puffing up. There's so many different things that can cause it. Okay, yay, I can actually see a comment now. Natalia. And I think I know this is the first time I've seen you on a live, so this is exciting. Can you tell me what kind of coach you are? And then we're going to go right into the hot seat of it. Okay, so sometimes it takes me a minute to really tap in, but why don't you tell me what kind of coach you are, and also tell me what is it that you want to happen in your business or in your life or in your body, whichever your focus is right now. What is it exactly that you want to happen right now? Like, what is it that you're looking for to happen in your business? If God could plop down anything into your lap, or if you had a genie, yay, Claudia, I'll do you too. If you had a genie to just grant your wish, what would it be? Okay, so you're a relationship coach, and what are you wanting to happen in your business? Can you tell me that? Claudia, can you tell me that as well? And anyone else who's wanting to get channeled, please tell me what kind of coach you are, and then what it is that you're really wanting to happen in your business right now. if you could have any wish in your business come true, what would that be? Because we need to get to the root of the desire, and we need to really go deeper so that we can access like your subconscious and access all the stuff that's in there. And then Claudia and anybody else who is going to want a live channeled reading, please share the video and then comment below shared, and then I will also read you. Okay, so I'm doing Natalia right now. So anyone else who's going to want a reading, you need to share the video and comment below shared so that I can go into you afterwards. So Claudia is also a relationship coach desiring to fill a program that I'm launching this week with 10 women. Okay. And Natalia, how about you? I'm still waiting for your answer there, because I want to know what your desire is so that I know what to tap into. Otherwise, I'm just randomly tapping in, and it's a lot harder, and it might bring something to surface that you don't necessarily even care about right now. So we need to know what it is that you actually want. Hi, Devin. You've been slaying it on Instagram stories. I've been seeing that. So when I really go in, 10 women for my next upcoming program. Okay, so this is the human desire, right? So look at how Claudia wanted that as well. And both of you wanted 10. Isn't that interesting? So there's been a lot of 10s coming up. So the 10 women in the program is the human thing that you want, right? So that's the stacking of the program, the stacking of the bank account, the growing of the business. That's the human thing that we want. And of course, we're going to get that. And what we want to go is underneath into what your soul is really craving out of that. So let me see if I can just start to go into Natalia. So everyone can do this on their own as well. So if that were to happen, what is it in you that would be being fulfilled? So it's just going to take me a moment. Okay. So just hold please while I tap in. Okay, so when I really tap into you, Natalia, what I really feel in this 10 women that come into your program, what your soul is really wanting out of that is also a knowing. It also feels like setting the stage, like you have an idea for what it is that you really want to share, and you have things on your heart that you want to put out to the world, and that you feel really good about teaching, and you feel really liberated about. Right? And so when those 10 people come in, what it feels like is like, yes, okay, this is how many people match the space that I feel like I can hold. And what you're wanting as well out of those 10 people, I feel like, is you're also wanting back and forth. Like, not only are you wanting to just talk to them and speak to them, what you're also looking for is group connection, and for them to connect with each other, and for them to go back and forth and create these connections. And it's also this feeling of community, but not community where it's like, okay, I'm Tony Robbins and I'm stepping on a stage and literally there's like millions of people here watching me as I talk at them. It more feels like this intimate space of like, okay, we're all here and we're all getting to know each other, not just on a surface level, but we want to go deep, and we want to go really into our deeper. Like, we want emotion. We want people to be able to open up. And the reason why you want specifically 10 is because you know the trickle effect of when one person opens up, it gives confidence for another to open up. And then it gives confidence for another to open up. So when you're going to manifest the program, and when you're really looking at your core desires of the program, you don't need to be stuck on 10. Yes, we can aim for 10, but what you're really looking for is openness, and what you're really looking for is the compound effect and the trickle effect. So you have to be that for them. And you have to know that even if there's 3, and there's 3 extremely potent women who are completely open, you can actually experience that feeling even vaster. So women who are in their boldness and they're really not hiding, and you're really not having to like coax them out of their shell. Although I feel that you are willing to do that, and you are very patient with people, and you're amazing at like setting a stage for them to feel comfortable with sharing. Like, I feel that you are so good at that, and that you actually find joy in that. And what would it be like, and how much easier would it be like if there was no stage? Okay, so even if the environment was nothing, even if the environment wasn't cozy, but you had the right people in there, it would still be amazing. Even if there was one person in there, it would still be amazing. But what you really want to focus on is the group connection, because this is what I feel like is really important for you. And what you also want to do is say, okay, this is what I'm really wanting, and how can I take that energy and create it everywhere in my business? Because you can also create this on your public Facebook page. It's not going to be as intimate. But when you lead and you're willing to be really open about something that happened during sex, or a heartbreak that you had, or some sabotaging decisions that you made, like the thing that you think makes you undesirable as a coach is the thing that you almost want to be leading with, right? Because when you lead with your vulnerability, that's going to make the clients feel automatically open to sharing. And then they're also going to start doing that even on your public page. So this is how you're going to lead, and this is how you're automatically going to create the exact woman that you want to have in those containers. The woman who's not necessarily holding back, but she needed to really know and confirm that this is the right spot for her. Hi, Jay. So let me see if I can let's tap into, let's really not think about what the client needs out of this. And let's really tap into, Natalia, you and your vulnerability. Okay. Because when you can lead with that, you're going to attract those women who are not there for the surface level connections. They're there to be with you through the tears and the celebrations and the happiness and the friendship and the heartbreak. And they're willing to just put it all out there without fear of judgment, because they know that you got them and you got their back. And they know that they like you so much that everybody else in that container is going to match you and be equally as cool. So when we tap into your root and your vulnerability, is there anything that's coming up automatically? I'm going to try to go in. And so for those of you who are just tuning in, if you would like a business channeling on you, please share the video and comment shared, and then I'm going to go on to other people. But there is something way, way down in your root chakra that is still healing. And I'm sure you've done a lot of healing work on this already, but we all have another layer of healing, right? So if we look at anything, oh, I love connection through vulnerability, real stuff. Yeah. Because I feel like your main thing that you could talk about, and can you go deeper on that, Natalia? Is there a specific, like, you want people to be vulnerable? Here's your chance to be vulnerable right here, right now on a public live, right? So is there something specific that you have shame and guilt around? Because I also feel like this is connected to aloneness, and this is connected to like how you feel when you're completely by yourself and there is nobody to connect with. And this can go into your relationships, and it can also go into your business. It can become, when you're teaching love and you're teaching romance, if you were to not have that in your life, who would you be without all of that? Because that's the core essence of who you really are, right? So without anybody in your inbox, without anybody in your program, without anybody in your mastermind, without anybody on your page engaging with you, without anyone in your life romantically, who would you be? And what we do is we strip down all of these layers and layers and layers, and we get down really to the core of who you are, which is also what you teach, right? And it's the most amazing piece of you. But what we think is it's not. So the very thing that you feel shame about and the very thing that you feel guilt about is the thing that the people are going to hire you for and want to be connected to you for. So if we can go deeper into that, and if you can tell me if you have a more specific thing on what you feel shame and guilt about. And it can be something way, way, way from the past, right? It can be something that feels like you've long gone healed it. But it really feels, because it's harder for me to just tap into it by myself. So it's easier if you go a little bit back and forth with me so that I can ping pong your intuition off my intuition. But I do feel like aloneness is part of it. Solitude is part of it. Okay, for having multiple partners without deep... Girl! Jeez, we've all been there. Oh my God. Okay, shame for the ex relation. This happens to be my specialty. Okay, now, here's the thing. What this comes down to is what value is to you in a relationship. So what here it's saying is it's not necessarily that you have shame about how many people you slept with, because if all of those people were boyfriends, or let's say you were in a relationship with them longer and you were in a long-term commitment and they were engaged, it would have mean something different about you. So in sleeping with lots of guys who it didn't turn into anything, and it wasn't a deep connection, it was a surface level connection of sexual desire, you feel shame because what you teach is real connection with people. And sex is just part of the connection, right? So, I mean, obviously we know that you're not that person anymore. I mean, if y'all want to know the things that I did, like so many one night stands, like just, I fucked guys' girlfriends. And the reason why we would have done that, and the reason why we would have chose the wrong partners, and the reason why we would have done the sabotaging thing, is because in that moment in time, we were using that to fill a void. So because we were getting a high off that. So I used to do this all the time. Like maybe I would go to the bar and I would pick out the hot guy and then I would fuck the hot guy, because that made me feel good enough. That made me feel like he chose me. And so because I had a lack of self-esteem, this is why we make bad choices. It's because we're looking to fill a void in the moment, and our urge to fill the void is stronger than our urge to hold space for aloneness. And this is why I felt like it was aloneness, right? Because the reason why you did that was because you couldn't handle feeling alone. So of course you went and fucked the guy. I'm pretty sure we've all done that. So in fucking the guy, what it is it's the avoidance of being alone. And I'm certain that that's probably tailoring into your business too, right? So if you have a fear of being alone, what happens is there's a fear of, if I don't get this amount of people to sign up for my program, if nobody's in my inbox, what do you do when you can't handle that feeling of aloneness? To self-sabotage? Do you start questioning your program? Do you start questioning your marketing? Do you start lowering your prices? Do you start going completely into lack vibes? So before, what you used to do is you used to fuck the fuck boy so that you wouldn't have to feel alone, and in that moment you could feel connected. So if we look at your old patterns, which no longer exist, you're not that woman anymore, but it's okay that you were. It just makes you cooler. You're not that woman anymore, but how are you doing this still on a smaller scale? To avoid the aloneness, to avoid not feeling connected to people. Instead, what is it that you do? And how can you reel yourself in to also feeling connected in different ways? So how can you connect with women when your inbox is empty, or your programs are empty? It's more what you're looking for is not necessarily money and enrollments. What you're looking for is to satisfy that deep hunger for somebody who really desires you. And when you're looking at that, they have to desire you for not the surface level thing, because the men that you slept with in the past desired you for your body or what you looked like or how you made them feel in that very moment. And that's because that's what you wanted from them. You also wanted what you were looking for in that moment. And also when you look at the reason why you would have shame and guilt around that is because partly it's because of the distance of the relationship. So like, let's say if it didn't last long and you slept with them and it was only like a couple dates or it was a one night stand, then you become ashamed. So there's a very good chance that, and then you feel in lack of. So there's a very good chance that when clients come into your life and they come in for a moment and they don't stick around, you probably go into lack vibes as well. Because to you, a real relationship is somebody who sticks around and somebody who goes deep. So when you attract, again, a client who's not willing to go deep with you, you will go into lack because that doesn't fill your cup. What you want is deep penetration, right? This is so true. Yeah. An eye-opener. So do you see how the exact things that you were doing with the dick are what you're doing with the puss? You're doing with the puss the same thing that you were doing with the dick. So, number one, own your slut, bitch. Just own it. We're all sluts, or were at some point. Well, maybe some of us weren't, but most of us who were not a slut were just holding back. Like, just own your slut. Own the guys that you fucked. It doesn't mean anything. You know what it means? It means you were open to connection. Every one of those guys that you sucked their dick or their dick entered your puss or they finger banged you in the elevator, that's my dream. That's going to happen for me next. Ever since I watched Sex Life on Netflix, that's my dream. So anyways, all those men that you had sex with, you just were open to connection. That's what it was. And in those times, what it was is you were meant to experience physical connection. That's what you were meant to experience, and that's what your body desired. So you went for what you were craving, which was the D. So because you were craving the D, but you were craving it from a place of lack of, you settled on whatever D there was, right? And so because the strongest energy wins. So the strongest urge and the strongest craving was, I need to feel fulfilled. I can't feel alone. So in this moment, I'm going to fill myself with this D right here, and it's going to make me feel good. And I'm going to have an orgasm and I'm going to reach peak. Maybe I won't even have an orgasm. When I look back at the one night stands, I wasn't having no orgasms. I was giving blowjobs and I was not having orgasms. Like, it was the biggest scam in the fucking world. Like, I would never, right? So anyways, what it was is like, we can just look at how that's the metaphor for our life. Like, if we look back at, say, the 19-year-old selves of us, the 18-year-old self, the 20-year-old self, the wild one, it was like, I literally would go so above and beyond in bed for men and walk away without an orgasm. Like, what a fucking metaphor for life that was. Go above and beyond so that I can impress him, so that he will marry me. Like, what a fucking scam. Whoever invented blowjobs, which was a man for sure, was out to scam the generation of women. Richard's been asking for one lately, and I'm like, just accept that you married a wife who doesn't give blowjobs. Like, I don't understand. Why do I want to do that? Hopefully he doesn't watch this. The other day, I convinced myself, not the other day, a couple months ago, I was like, okay, come on, Tasha, just be a good wife. Like, these other women, like, somebody along the line told me about how they love giving them. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you love a dick in your mouth? I actually don't know why you would love that. Okay, Tasha, be a good wife. Come on. Be a good wife. Just do it. We've been together like 14 years and the poor guy has not received that many blowjobs. But, I mean, look at me. I feel like having sex with me and looking at me is literally way better than any blowjob in the world. But I'm like, okay, I'm like amping up. So this is what I did. I gave my clit a pep talk and I was like, clit, pull your panties up and just get her done, clit. You want this. And somehow I convinced myself that it was going to make me money. I'm like, clit, this is what's going to happen. You're going to give a blowjob and somehow you're going to get rich off it. This is what's going to happen. Because this is what I needed to tell myself in the moment. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm willing to do it if it's 69. So I'm like, okay, just do it. Just go tell him right now before you change your mind. So then I'm like, oh, Richard. 69. So then we started doing 69 and then the whole time, all I could think of was this was the stupidest idea I've ever had in my entire life. Why am I doing this? This sucks just as bad as I remember that it sucks. Like he's already married you. Why are you doing this? And the whole time, it's just like that. It's so dumb. There's a moral to the story. What is it? Hang on. I lost the moral to the story. The moral to the story is we don't have to impress anybody because a real connection isn't going to leave if you haven't gone above and beyond for your clients and you can't like handle it, you know? So when we look at, okay, so I don't know why I'm called to like explain this with sex, but I am. So when we look back to our 20-year-old selves, the ones who was giving a blowjob in the back alleyway to the guy she doesn't know his name. Not saying that I did that, but maybe I did that. What's the reason why? The reason why is because she needs some sort of validation that she's good enough, that she's hot. And somehow we create shame around these experiences when really what we were is we were in our power. So when you look back at the men that you slept with, you were in control the whole time. You were in the power the whole time. That was you in your sexual power, owning that blowjob. That was what you wanted to do. That was what you chose to do. And that was what felt good in that time. And so just own it. What if it just got to be a funny little thing that was part of your past? I used to have so much shame around that stupid blowjob that I gave in the alleyway. Pray to God Richard doesn't end up hearing this. I've never told him this story. I used to have so much shame about that. Because why? Because it was meaningless, which I made it mean that it meant I was meaningless and I was nothing. When really what it was is I was honing in my sexual power and I'm going to own that shit and I don't feel bad about it. Would I do it again? Hell fucking no. Would I do it again? That was the biggest scam I've ever done to myself. Why would I do that? I don't know, but you live and you learn. So what I would ask you, because there is a point to this, is where in your business are you doing this? Where in your business are you trying to overperform in order to get the clients to come into the program or to like you or to look at you or to watch you? Because I can guarantee you're doing this somewhere in your business on a smaller scale. If we look at our relationships with men and what they used to be and the things that we have healed, validate you. Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. When 10 people come into your program, it makes you feel validated that you got something out of what you gave. So then you don't feel empty, right? You don't feel alone. You feel like you're in this together. Because this is what you're really, really wanting, Natalia, is you're just wanting to feel like you're in this together. You're wanting a feeling of togetherness, because that is truly what you desire, but not even just a feeling of togetherness of like your ultimate self, that you're able to share these kind of things and you're still worthy, that you're able to say the guy that you rode reverse cowgirl who had a girlfriend and it doesn't mean anything about you. And your past is the thing that makes you special and the thing that makes you amazing. Like for you to talk to, like even for you to say that and voice that, I literally like you more. So all y'all who are sluts, I just like you more. I literally just like you more, and I just feel more connected to you. And everyone who loves blowjobs or hates blowjobs, like that makes me love you more. So just own the fact if you love it, own the fact if you hate it. Like if you love vanilla sex, own that. If you need to be spanked, choked, thrown across the room, own that. Like whatever it is, just own it. So the more you feel liberated in that, the more you're going to attract these types of women and you're going to feel together. So do you notice how right now I'm not trying to be a professional, polished version of myself? Because that's not who I am. I am not a proper, polished version. So do you see how the way I'm talking to you, you can probably guess what it's like to be in one of my containers or to coach with me. And what happens is when your containers aren't full, it's because women aren't sure what they're going to get, and they're worried and they don't feel safe about coming with you. So the more you can let those guards down and the more you can help them to feel safe and really get to know you, like not the professional version of you and what you've accomplished and how much money you make and this and that, like that's all a scam too. So as long as you're attracting people into your containers by this is how much income I make, this is what my house looks like, this is the husband that I'm married to, this is the dream life I've created to myself, we love all of that, like absolutely. But that doesn't get to be the reason people come. So it's own your slut, bitch. It's the best part about you because you're not her anymore. Yes, not proper version. And that's how we connect. Real, vulnerable, raw. So, okay. So if you were going to do something with me, there's a couple different things. Okay, because you want to create a space for your clients that's very vulnerable, open, and raw. So if you want to attract those type of women, you have to also be that woman, right? So it's important for you to lead, not only in your space, in other people's spaces as well. So if you were going to do something with me, the 10-day masterminds that I do are like absolutely up your alley, because specifically the reason why I say this is because what your soul wants is group connection. Kai?
Yeah?
What are you doing?
There's a bear.
Oh, there's a bear? Okay, I'm just on a work call. Perfect, thanks. That was just my neighbor warning me. Kai, come inside then, please.
Okay,
One moment. There's just a bear right there, so I just have to make sure that my kids are safe. Part of living in Canada problems. I can see them out the window to make sure. Okay, so anyways, the reason why specifically that I think if you came into something of mine, it would be like the 10-day mastermind, because specifically I know that you want to be intimate with like groups of women. Okay, perfect. I'm just making sure my kids are getting inside. Thanks, Kai. Get a cue inside, okay? Okay, so anyways, that would be the thing. And so I just want to see if there's any last bits of channeling that wants to come through. But I feel like that was definitely the main thing, is that it's like, also, what does your current everyday slut looks like? Because we can channel that bitch too. Because there's a piece of you who really liked the high of that, right? There's a piece of you that was really free during that time. So how can we channel that in a healthy way into your new and present life? Like being able to be really open about it. And what if you could talk about that kind of stuff and it was all just funny little things that you did. Like that's literally, now that I've healed most of my sexual stuff, that's honestly how I feel about everything that I did in the past. I literally think it's hilarious that I gave a blowjob in the alleyway. Like, I actually think that's so funny that I did that. So, in you being able to own that, that is healing for people. And one of the ways that I actually healed it was I met Cassie Howard. She used to be a porn star. And she just owns it. She's like, yeah, it was a really fun time in my life. And when I met her, that liberated me. So in just owning your slut, in just owning the person that you were, the person that you have been, and the piece of you that still is her, you're giving other people so much freedom. And they're able to feel safe with stepping in and doing life with you because they know that you've been there too. You've felt that too. You are that girl too. You were that girl once, right? So that's the thing that I feel for you. So anyways, if you were to ever do something with me, it would for sure be one of my masterminds. The next one coming up is $333 for 10 days in Voxer, which is literally the most affordable thing in the world to be able to have channeled intuitive guidance, like focused on you. It's insane. Otherwise, you could do one-on-one in Voxer with me, doing the same thing, which is $1,111. So, Natalia, I love your juiciness. I love all of you. You're amazing. So the next person that I am going to do is Claudia. I think it was, are you still here? And then whoever wants to go next, please share the video and comment shared if you want me to go into you next. Did you see the bear? Okay. Akio's safe in there. You guys can play in the garage if you want. Just don't go into the field. Claudia, can you tell me if you are still here? Okay, perfect. Scarlett, then I will do you as well. So Claudia, are you still here? Because I don't, oh yeah, okay, you are. Okay. So Claudia, you were saying the same thing, is what you would really want is 10 people to come into your program. And I think you said that you are a relationship coach, right? And so even based on the other stuff that we were talking about with Natalia and the vulnerability and everything like that, I'm sure you've probably already had some stuff come up. You're desiring to fill a program that I'm launching this week with 10 women. Okay. So hold please while I just tap in. Okay. You know what's really amazing about, okay, so it's interesting because with you, I actually feel like the enrollment piece is almost the most satisfying piece to you. So what I actually feel that your soul is really, really wanting out of this experience is this very alluring energy. And what it's really wanting is to not be going out there and like chasing people to come in. It's really wanting to stand in her feline power. So your soul is really wanting to channel this fierceness, but not the type of fierceness which I feel like used to be in your past. Like I feel like what you used to do, and this was very effective because I used to do this too. Because you have this very feline sort of energy. And so what you used to do is decide what you wanted and attack and get it and slay it and eat it and devour it. And that's a very forward energy, and that would make you feel like, yes, let me get my claws in this. And we love that piece of you. But this new piece of you that's coming forward is all about seduction. And it's all about you standing in your presence so strongly and being so attached to what you want and knowing so specifically what you want in your life that it just comes. Like it just does. And it really feels like this alluring, but also very romanticizing energy. So if this is what you're really wanting to create, because you are in the industry of like love and romance, is being able, and I don't know how much you already do of this because I'm not sure because I haven't like looked at your page or anything. But the thing for you is really being able to capture yourself when you're feeling that vibe, like specifically your cleavage, because I feel like you have good cleavage. So what I'm seeing for you is like low cut, like lacy shirts or whatever it is that you feel alluring in, like really creating alluring energy throughout your whole business, all the way down to the food that you eat. So what I see you doing, some practical steps that you could do, like I literally see you like eating food, like eating cheesecake, like eating something indulgent and eating it really slowly and savoring every bite and like having that on Instagram story. So, oh, okay. So that makes so much sense, Claudia. So you're on the right track with that all the way. So you're in the energy of alluring, and now it's about taking that to the next level. So being able to allure people with every sense of your body, allowing them to be connected to every sense of your body. And I'm feeling like close-ups for you. So for example, we can allure people just with our eyes. So I see you doing videos, right? Where you literally like just look. And you just look at people. And you just look at them intensely. And you just let them see your soul. So also, I see a smudge there. So let's say you're doing an Instagram story and you're just doing like a selfie. Zoom into one specific feature on your face or your body and allure them with that. So maybe it's like your lips and you're gonna like do something weird like that, you know, like maybe you're gonna do something like that. Or maybe you're just gonna like look at them really, just hold that gaze a little longer. Or maybe you're gonna do like a close-up of your titties or like something like that. So alluring them with different pieces of your body, and it can be like your lips literally taking a bite of something. This isn't a joke. Like I actually want you to do this. And it can even be something like you're gonna videotape your knees in the bathtub or your legs rubbing together just right. Like using your body as a tool to allure people, but also your personality as well. So you're gonna show that, that's where like your lives come. So when you're going on to your live and you're doing videos and you're coaching people, take that time to spend just a little bit more time on them, a little bit more focus on them to make them feel that much more special and to make you feel that much more connected. So that's what I see as far as your free content, because this is the thing that I feel like is as people come closer to you and as they take steps, okay, now I'm her Facebook friend. Now I constantly like her pictures. Now I constantly comment on her pictures. Now I'm part of her Facebook group. Now I'm part of her email list, like creating all these different ways for people to connect. And I feel like that is very satisfying to you. So the more that you're able to see that and like, oh, there's a connection and oh, there's a connection. And then also not being afraid to friend request the people that you feel really drawn to, because that's not you chasing them. That's just like, ooh, I like her. She's hot. Let's connect, or whatever it's going to look like. So the alluring energy, and this can also be you spraying on whatever scents onto you that also makes you feel alluring in your body. Because I definitely see that you need to dress the part for you to feel this way too. So maybe it's like tight jeans with a lacy bodysuit and some cleavage or something like that, right? So this is what I see for you as far as being able to show like who you really are and your vibe and all of that. That's what I see for you. And then let me see if I can just tap in a little bit deeper into anything else. Is there anything else that you're really, really wanting? Because the magnetizing thing, that's the thing that I feel like is standing out the most and what your soul would really like. And of course, the enrollments and going deeper. But it's more about what the energy is at when you attract them that's important for your soul. Like, you are really wanting to attract people from an authentic place of I was being me and it wasn't hard. But I was really focused on like who I'm being. Do you know what I mean? You guys, do you want to go play in your room, please?
There's a bear outside.
Yeah, don't go outside quite yet, okay?
This is really hard to chew, Mom.
Go put it on the counter then. Kids out of school. Okay, so the next thing, so that's the thing that would be super satisfying. And also the thing that I feel for your soul, for you, is having isolated attention on you. Like, I feel that you would do really much so good in private coaching, like where it's just you and the mentor in one space. So if you were to do something with me, like a 90-minute intensive feels really good. That's $1,500. Or a 10-day Voxer trial, which is $1,111. But I feel like you get really a lot of satisfaction when there's energy on you and it's focused on you and you're able to like really zone in on specifics of how you can up level your body, your business, your bank account, and all that stuff. Like, potency is important, the most important for you, because time is valuable. This is what I feel. Like, for you specifically, doing something like a group program, I just feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself, and that anytime you do a group program, it's more of like, okay, I'm going to listen to what the person is saying, and I'm going to take out the pieces that really resonate with me. But when every piece is about you and you're not having to like sift through what other people are saying and what's been said to this person and how it portrays to you, where everything is about you. Like, even when we look at masterminds, it's like you're getting snippets of focused attention. And with private coaching, it's all about you all the time. Because it's crazy, because I feel like this is the type of lover you are. So when you're in bed with someone, like, I feel like it's all about you. Like, it's all about you receiving and you just basking in being desired, and like the man just like kissing your body and worshiping you and like wanting to give you orgasms. And like, that's how I feel like you need to feel with a mentor. You need to feel like you're the center of attention, because I feel like you do a lot. Like, there is, like, you've got lots of clients and like you've just got lots going on all the time. So when you're with a mentor, it's very important for you to feel like, watch out, bitches, it's me and I'm ready to take over the world. Move over. Like, I feel that you need somewhere to be that. Like, you need a lot of space, and it's all got to be your space. So private coaching is the thing that I would feel for you. And I think that the next step will be, okay, I love the alluring, I love the magnetizing, I love being in me and feeling my feminine power. And also, I love to really connect with people deeper in many different ways, because I feel like you have certain ways that you do things and certain like tools and certain kind of things that you like to go to in your structuring, and like even just the way you teach. I feel like there's like this, and this, and you've mastered these. And now what it's going to be about is also mastering the intricacies and the personalizations, and really making it feel very, very special to people, and like really getting them to open up, and you opening up, and being able to talk about like tiny little things that seem like not a big deal, but they actually are in the grand scheme of things. Because once you've mastered something, it's like all that's left is the small things to tweak. And this is what it's going to be in your business, is little tweaks here and there that are going to make a big difference. You know, it's like losing 5 pounds, but it makes a huge difference on your body. It's like that. So that's the thing that I feel for you, Claudia. Okay, who was next? I think it was Scarlett. Scarlett, are you still here? Can you heart or can you comment below? And because I don't want to, you're welcome. I don't want to read somebody who is not still here. But Scarlett, can you tell me too, what is it that you want in your business right now? Yeah, you're here. So what are you looking to happen? Like, what is the thing that you're like, that's the thing that would feel amazing? What are you wanting to happen in your business? Can you tell me a little bit about that? And then we're going to go deeper into really the soul and what the soul is wanting out of that and the intricacies. Because this is what we always do, you guys, is when you're able to do this and not just look at, okay, I want 10 people in the program. Of course we want that. When you're able, that's leading with the human desire, right? An upcoming 10K launch with no sales calls. Okay, perfect. So this is the human desire. Okay, I want to do this launch, so this project, and I want it to be $10,000, and I don't want to have to like go around doing piddly little shit. So if we go deeper down into the soul and what the soul is really wanting out of this, it feels like what you're really wanting is boldness. You're wanting this big, expansive, like energy. Like it feels very much so like your energy and what you desire is not subtle. It feels like your soul is really wanting to be bold. It's wanting to be loud. It's wanting to be outspoken. It's wanting to say what she wants to say. And I feel like you do that. I feel like you've probably got that down. And the thing that can be tweaked is it feels like there's some defense mechanisms in there. And I don't know yet what they are attached to, but definitely around people who might disagree with you, or people who might not like you, or people who might not have the same version of the truth as you. And it's opposite for you. So some of us, when there's people like that, they shrink down. What you do is the opposite. You puff up. And I know this because this is what I do. So what it is it's like you literally don't care what they think. Okay, we know that. Like, it's like this I don't give a fuck. Like, just fuck off then. And what happens is it is also a defense mechanism. So when people maybe have a different point of view as us, we can do this, I don't give a fuck right off. You can do that. But also, what it does is it makes it so that you're not a match for people who maybe think differently, but they want to change. Do you know what I mean? So it can stop a flow of some people coming in. So if you were able to not be in the I don't give a fuck, if it was actually safe to care what they think, but be okay with it, like to be able to transform it from like, I don't care to, okay, it's safe to care. It's safe for it to sting a little bit because it really doesn't feel like you do care a lot, but also like it is safe if I do care, right? And I'm okay with it. So instead of I don't care, if we can change it to just a little bit softer of I'm okay with it, right? Because here's what it feels like, is there's a root to this. So it's taking me back to, I want to say you at 10 years old and again into your 20s where you did care and you cared too much. And there was a feeling of maybe being left out or a feeling of being singled out, and it feels like your body might have been different too. Like I don't know if you had some body image stuff or if it was just basically insecurities. Maybe it wasn't about body specifically, but insecurities around your worthiness and fitting in with people. And it's bringing me back to like you as a young girl where maybe you did care and it just hurt too much. And you got to a point where you're like, I just don't care. Like, I can't care anymore. Like, I just literally can't care. Because these people aren't my people, but deep, deep, deep down, if we go deep to the root, What that little girl just always wanted was for people to see her, for people to acknowledge her, for people to be able to see past just what they see here and see into truly who she is, like her depth. And not only to see her, to actually listen to her and respond to her. Because it feels like there was a time that you felt invisible. Yes, I used to care too much and had insecurities before, so I help women with that. Yeah. So that was the old you who used to feel invisible, who had insecurities. And so what then we do is we're like, oh, hell no, I'm never caring again. I'm never going to be invisible again. So then what we do is we puff up and we become super loud and super like, yeah, well, you have no choice but to look at me, because look at me. Like, I'm so bold and loud that you have to look at me. And what we really want to do is, that's amazing. Like, I fucking love women like that. We want to make sure there is no proving that you're not that other girl anymore. No proving that you have the right to say what you want. No proving that you are allowed to be different. Like, if actually everybody already knew that, and it was basically just common sense, because I feel like still those old things are still in your head, even though you're not that girl, and you don't let that navigate your life. What it feels like you might do is do everything in order to avoid the person that you used to be. So basically running away from the shy girl, running away from or refusing, like anytime that you refuse anything, it's usually a defense mechanism. And it's not that we have to stop being loud. It's not that we have to change what we're doing. It's just more making sure that we're staying out of the energy of any kind of proving. And we're not even aware that we're doing it when it's at this stage, because you've obviously done tons of work around it already. But here's where let's tap into like where this could be occurring in your business in a different way. So here's what I think is going on in your business is I think when you're launching a program, you have a very good idea of who you don't want in there. And I think that it may be overpowering what you do want and closing the gates to what you do want. So for example, okay, I think I'm getting closer here. So for example, even with the no sales call thing, what your soul is really wanting is women who are sure, right? Women who are sure of what they want and when they want it and how they want it, and they don't need to second guess and they don't need confirmation, okay? So this is what your soul is wanting out of that, because you're sick of pussyfooting around. You're sick of having to baby people. You're sick of having to say something so they feel more comfortable. Like, you're really just not in the mood to like coax people into anything. So that's cool. Okay, we know that. But what we want to do is not forget about the you who was uncertain about herself, who was uncertain about which food to eat, who was uncertain about which guy to choose, who was uncertain about which mentor would be right for her, because there was a time that you were that girl, right? And so are you able to have the patience and hold the space for women who are in that spot without overgiving, without having to run around inboxes and do sales? But here's what you could do is you can tap back into and remember that woman who was uncertain, and you can give live coaching on it in your Facebook. So you're still addressing those women and you're connecting to them and you're being able to feel compassionate to them. And you're not just completely like, oh, like I just don't have time for that woman. Can you allow people space to be able to grow and just a little bit more patience with how fast she grows? Because I think it's like you want people to move, to act, to go, because that's what you would do now. The old you wasn't like that, but she got to where you are now. So maybe this is a different program that you make. that just isn't super hands-on, right? So because we know the clients who are maybe a little bit further back in their evolution journey and they do need a little bit more heavy lifting. But here's the fucked up thing. Here's the crazy thing. Is those kind of people that we experienced, let's say maybe it was a lower price program or something like that, it's actually not related to the price point. It's actually not related to any of that. It's related to where you were at that time. So here's the mind fuck. Okay, so now that you are a different person, even the beginner clients that you're going to attract will still be super capable. So you can still have a lower price point thing and attract high level women. Because this is where it's coming from, is this annoying space of like women who just needed colicking and who needed like coddling. And part of that was because of where you were at that point. So now you know you're not available to coddle people one-on-one, on a private call, on a sales call, or in an inbox. But where you can give coaching on fears is in a live, on an evergreen program, like somewhere that's not going to suck the energy out of you. So, because I feel like this refusal thing could be holding clients back. So you absolutely don't need to do sales calls. Like there is no point to those, especially nowadays that they're like, you can chat with someone in an inbox, like no. And what it comes down to is like, even when when you have women on a sales call or in an inbox, they're really just looking for permission. They're looking for permission to buy so that they can feel safe to buy. So how can you make people feel safe like you would have done on that sales call, basically on your private page, on a live coaching call? Maybe it's a small chat in your inbox, like maybe it's a minute back and forth here and there if you had to. But what I noticed for myself is I'm really not in this space of like, how dare she inbox me and ask me for coaching? Because usually that's not what women are trying to do. They really just want to feel good about the purchase. And so I found that when I was able to soften and have a little bit of space to chat with them, but not be giving them an hour of one-on-one coaching in my inbox, but not be like, actually, I don't coach in my inbox. And I'm not saying that you do this at all. It's like, can you have patience with people who aren't at the level where you are quite yet? And I think what this comes down to is different tiers of programs. Okay, I have this program here, which is for like the people in this one spot. And then I have this program here, which is like the people who are on par with me. The people who we rise together. This is what we want. So I find that the ones who maybe aren't capable of rising with you quite yet, because they're just a little bit more behind, I have like evergreen programs for them and things where they can just watch a video and then they can coach themselves. Okay, I love sales calls and I love connecting with people. It was that the thought of putting the prices out there, the captions, yeah. Okay, so here's what it is. Okay, so what you're wanting to do is basically be more straightforward and have it all out there for everyone to see so that there is no reason for a sales call. Because basically in a sales call, you're explaining about the program, you're telling them about the program, you love talking to them, but here's the thing is it's not good for the collective. So when you do something like this and you have the captions out there and you have the prices out there and all of that, then everybody's hearing what's going on the sales call. So everybody's growing from that. So instead of doing a behind the scenes sales call where only that one person benefits from your connection, what you're wanting is a growth in connection. And what you're wanting is for everybody to be able to connect at once so that it's more effective for your time. So it's about opening up to new ways to connecting, right? So this is why I think also having the different tiers of programs will be amazing for you. Because the more assets you have for people who want to connect, the better. And some people, some people won't want hot seat coaching or to talk, and then they can pay for your private coaching, right? You can offer a paid sales call. That would be amazing. So this is the thing that I feel like you're really wanting is more openness, which is what the same thing as you've wanted in the boldness, right? There's the bold and the loud, but also the openness in just, these are my prices and this is what it is. And they're not hard to find. They're right there. That is the bold thing. This makes so much sense. Yes. And also, okay, so let me tell you about the reason why I do that. So you want to look at how you buy, right? So for example, when I'm looking around at different people to purchase from, and this is just how I buy. Let's say I know I'm gonna like go into something big, and I have to fill out a form and I have to apply to see if I can, and I don't even know the price. I'm not even gonna fill out the form unless I'm like super sure. Like when I'm shopping, I want to know the price to see if it's even in my ballpark of what I'm willing to pay. I don't actually want to have to message you for the price because now I feel pressure to buy, because I don't like being the one who like asks how much it is and then they don't buy. I personally don't like that. So I want to know the price up front, because if it's $10,000 over my budget, I'm not even going to bother bugging you. And maybe it's even smaller. Or let's say like, I'm like, okay, I know I want to work with this girl. Okay, how much does it cost? And if the price is just right there, I can then start planning like, okay, if I did this and I did this, could I afford it? Could I make it work with my money? Like I want to be certain before I even enter the inbox. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking to not have to do the sales call because people are already certain before they even enter your inbox. So you want to be really clear on what your offers are, and you want to be clear on how much your stuff is so that they don't have to ask and they're just ready to purchase. Maybe there's some small questions. Yeah, exactly. So like, even for example, let's say I'm like, oh, this girl seems kind of cool. She's got a private Facebook group. Okay. Now I have to fill out a whole interview of questions to even enter the private Facebook group. Like, I don't care that much. No, thanks. Unless I'm super sold on her and I know that I love her already. But the more steps I have to do, even if it's a free masterclass, if I have to fill out 37 forms to get to your free masterclass, like I'm probably just going to lose interest unless I'm obsessed with you. So the reason why you want to always structure your marketing just like how you buy. So for me, because I don't like to search for prices and I don't like to fill out an application just to see how much something costs. Like I want at least a general ballpark knowing of how much something costs before I talk to you, because I don't want to feel like an idiot that I'm like, oh, not today. Like I don't like being that person. I like to know how much is it. Okay. I'm going to think about like, can I afford that? Can I do it? If not, what would it take? Maybe I want to prepare. Maybe I want to start saving so that when I enter your inbox, I'm ready to buy. Getting the leads. Okay, so in getting the leads, the faster that you can connect with people, the faster you will get the leads, right? So this will come down to, okay, so now I'm not going to be doing the sales calls to connect with people, and I know that's my normal way, so how else can I do that? So can I do that on a Facebook Live? Can I do that with some sort of free content? Am I also making sure to engage on my social platforms, like making sure that I'm also commenting on other people's stuff and engaging with their and like connecting with them there? And what I would really say is like, when you're going to connect with someone, don't just drop an emoji because you feel like leaving a comment. Like connect with the people who you actually feel are interesting and say something that you would say to your friend. Don't just be like, yay, emoji. I mean, that to me isn't connecting, right? I mean, it's a level of connecting. It's not like you have to go into this big depth conversation. But when I'm engaging usually on somebody's picture, for example, because that's a way of connecting, that is a way of getting leads. You are becoming friends. I like to say exactly what I would say to my best friend. Oh my God, I love that top. Like maybe it's as simple as that, right? Perfect. So I think in the creating a connections, also what I see for you, Scarlett, is doing really interesting polls that are kind of like funny and cute on your Instagram stories. So maybe you're going to ask people about a meal, what they like better, or maybe you're going to ask them about like which outfit you like better, what they like better, or maybe you're going to ask them a question about relationships, or maybe you're going to ask them a question about body parts, like doing little things like that to connect. So doing Instagram stories, like that's all connecting. And you just, the more you can show your energy, the more that it'll turn into leads, and it just will. So if you were going to do something with me, I feel like the 10-day one-on-one Voxer thing would be amazing for you. 1,111. I see you doing like better in a one-on-one setting than in a group setting. So that's something that I think would be amazing for you, or a 90-minute intensive for 1,500. Those are the things that I feel would be good for you. And just so you all know, as you can see in the caption, I have a 24-hour group chat that's going to happen in August, like coming up here in like 5 days or something. I can't remember the day I put for the thing, but it's going to be a mastermind, just a one-day masterclass. It's going to be in Voxer, and it's basically your chance to have like 1 day of private coaching. So you're welcome. You will be able to bring whatever you want to the table, and it's going to be like, you can see now the power of personalization and intuition. Like all these women I talk to, I don't know anything about. I've never even found their profiles. Like it's all intuitive, it's all channeled. So it's a really nice way to be able to like experience a piece of that potency at a low cost. So it's how much did I label it for? I can't even remember what I said. Was it 150? Something like that. So it's a 24-hour rolling Voxer. You guys, for anyone who has a busy life, who has kids, who is out and about, Voxer is the best place to be. Like then you're not having to clear out a schedule to sit down at a specific time, and you can pop in there whenever you want to pop in there. It's where my most potent transformations happen. So anyways, that's a really great chance for people to experience just a piece. Like, okay, like I just want to try it. I just want to dip my toe and see what it's like, but I also want some personalization. And so if you're worried, because some women get worried about the overwhelm of doing a Voxer. So what I like to say to those women is that you get to use that space however you want to use it. So if the chat becomes big and too fast and too much, you simply don't listen to what the other women are saying. You just come in, you say the thing that you want to say, you get what you need, and then you can listen to the other women and get engaged with them if that's what you love. You can also come in and just get what you need and listen to my response to what I said to you, and then check out. And then check back in when you think of another question, and then check back out. So the only way to not get what you need in a group chat or in a group mastermind or in a group Voxer is that you didn't ask for it. It's actually not possible to walk away with not getting what you need if you don't ask for it. So just show up and ask the thing that you need to ask, and don't hold back, and you'll walk away fulfilled. All right, who was next on the list? I know that Kristen was here. Is anybody else here who was wanting a channeled reading? Is Kristen still here? You're welcome, Scarlett. So Kristen, let me know if you're still here. And if not, is there somebody else who wants to go next for the channeling? Yay, okay, Kristen. This is fun because she's in the current mastermind right now, and it's so juicy and it's so good, and I could not be more fulfilled by this group of women. Okay, so Kristen, what is the thing that you're wanting to happen in your business right now? What do you really, truly desire to happen? I'd love one if you're still doing them. Yay, okay. Corey, did you share the video? Just share the video and comment below shared, and then I'll do you as well. Corey, I'll do you right after Kristen. So Kristen, what are you really wanting in your business? Like, I know that you want it to fill, and this is good because we've had this conversation before and we've really tapped into it. Attracting clients with ease. Yeah. Okay. So here, the biggest thing that we're looking for is the heart burst open feeling inside your body. So this is the feeling that I feel like your soul is really asking for. Is the ease is when you have trust, and we already talked about what that feels like in your body, the trust in the higher chakras. And here's how I feel like you're going to know if things are right. So let's say you're questioning something, because the only thing that when it's not feeling like ease, it's because you're questioning or you're doubting. Those are the things that make it not easy. So anytime you're questioning something, I want you to tap into your body and use your tools that you use through coaching and notice where you're feeling resistance and where you're feeling openness, right? So what you're really wanting to do is like express who you are. And we already talked about ways that would be easy, like in your Instagram stories and stuff like that. And so the next thing that's really wanting to be highlighted is being able to show your coaching skills also with ease. Because we know how you're going to show yourself, right? And your vibe and your essence. We've already discussed that. So now it's about creating opportunities and containers where you can coach with ease. Because we already have the plan of how you're going to attract. We already sorted that out in the mastermind. So now it's about, okay, how can I also coach with ease? Because when you get in the zone, you get in the zone. But still, there's a little bit of doubt. Still, there's a little bit of, am I attracting the right person? And I feel like this is also, this is an overthinking thing, because I feel like you're doing this with men as well. And so what I would say is, when you're feeling in your head, drop down into your body and notice any time that you have resistance, even with receiving. So let's say somebody offers to buy you coffee or buy you dinner or open a door for you. What does your body do and what does your puss do? Like, does your puss immediately clench up? Does your heart immediately burst open? Does your abs clench? Let's really give you a you for you. So let's really go into where exactly the trauma is stored inside your body, because it's definitely in your back for sure. It's all across your back. So it's all across your past. And what I feel that you're doing is you're using your past experiences, or there's something about your past that's protecting you from vulnerability. So what you'll do is you'll go into a shell and you'll go within, and what you'll do is you'll keep things into yourself, and you'll also harbor resentment, and you'll hold your vulnerabilities and you'll guard them so that they're not out in the open, because they feel like they're not digested yet. This is the thing that I'm feeling. So what I feel is going on with you is you have this feeling of like, okay, once this thing is healed, then I'll feel okay to coach on it or be open to it. And instead of just being really open about your vulnerabilities, what's happening is you're just worried that because they aren't fully healed, you're not ready to talk about them. But it's the thing that's going to heal you, because it's where you are currently, it's where you are present. That doesn't mean you have to put every dirty, nitty-gritty detail on the internet. But what I'm feeling the next step for you is to be able to feel confident in sharing yourself and where you're at now. And what you can do is you can take the vulnerability and extract the lesson from it. Like, you don't have to talk about it when you're in the height of the pain. But let's say the pain is still there and it's not fully healed, but you know what you're to learn of it. Extracting the lesson and speaking about that. Not in a way of, I have all the keys and the answers to all of this. In a way of, let's all heal together. So specifically, this is trapped in the whole layer of your back, all the way down to the bone right above in the lower back, right above your butt, and that's where it stops. So this is also around your backbone. This is around your structure. This is around also people who have hurt you in your past and you've not seen it coming. This is a big piece of where the pain and trauma is that if you can't see it coming, it's easier to protect and harbor because it'll hurt less if I go down and withhold and be strong. So instead of being strong, just welcoming the pain, just welcoming the trauma and really tapping into that, because let's just tap in right now into your back, and it's really in your shoulders, and it's in your structures and your belief systems, and it's in the way that you even hold your posture, and it also affects the way that you see things, and it affects your ability to focus. Because what I feel is there's constantly this urge to like look over here and look over here for validation and confirmation that, okay, this is good. Okay, I got a plan, I got a good. So it's like if you didn't have, like if there was no one to check with and there was no one to validate and you just had to focus on what you really wanted, there's that. But also being able to do that, and here's where I feel like the next step is that in the past it's been, okay, what's this person doing? What's that person doing? What's going on over here? But all you've been able to do is just see the surface of what people are doing, and you haven't been able to like go deep into the underneaths of the businesses that you're looking at and see what's going on behind the surface and what's going on behind closed doors with the way people are planning their marketing and living their lives and the ins and outs. Because a lot of people don't share all the dirty nitty gritty stuff on the internet because maybe we're still going through it. We don't feel comfortable with it. Who knows why, right? So it can look like everybody's thriving and everyone's in this perfect situation where a lot of us are not. So being able to have behind the scenes looks into people's lives and just know them more and know them instead of their business strategy and their business structure and their business model. This is the piece that is going to be life-changing for you, is actually knowing people deeper. What your soul wants is to not know people's business. It's to know people who's behind the business. Not what the branding looks like, not how much cash the business is making per month, not how many people get into the masterclass. Who cares? It's irrelevant. I mean, we do love that stuff, of course. I love making branding. It's like my favorite thing in the world. But what's behind the brand? Who's the face behind the brand? Who is she? When she takes all her makeup off and she's not being a powerhouse, who is she then? Like, this is the thing that's been missing in your life. Real relationships and feedback. The feedback piece is life-changing for you. Like, I feel like you've been needing feedback your whole life and you've been just doing it all alone. Feedback is super important for you. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so what you wanted was to attract people with more ease. And so, what it is it's the not second guessing. It's the confirmations. So noticing that right now, what you desire is feedback, not to say, yes, okay, I have permission now, but what you've been needing is more creative space so that you can ping pong and be inspired. And then it's easier for you. Because when you eliminate the doubt, it suddenly becomes easier. Because now you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Because you're really good at like, okay, there's this idea. Okay, this is the one that feels good. So where you get in your head is when you're all alone and you have nothing to do but think about your own thoughts, and then you start to second guess. So that's my straight, flat answer, Kristen. So you're in the mastermind right now, which I would absolutely be thrilled if you continued on to do another round or whatever. So I definitely feel like group is still really good for you. So another round of the mastermind would be amazing for you. Listen to my kids yelling. Okay. Corey, can you please tell me what it is that you now are looking for in your business? Oh, I'm getting hot and sweaty in there. Corey, what is the thing that you are looking for in your business right now, next? And we're going to go into that. I took a break from my business this summer, and it's a side project. I'm ready to dive back in with better health boundaries and a bolder presence. I'm struggling with finding my voice, and I share with confidence online. Okay, so Corey, let's really dive into what your soul is really wanting. So what she's wanting is freshness, newness, creativity, and being able to feel like you're doing this differently, and yet with the same kind of like idea. Like I feel like you've kind of had this idea of sort of, but it's very broad of what you really want and what it's going to look like. So the next step of what your soul is wanting is to be more precise about its desires and have a rough idea of how you're going to get there. So the soul is really wanting a plan. The soul is really wanting a like, okay, I'm ready to move, but what do I do, right? Like I want to move, but what is the next step? So what this really comes down to is, okay, so you already know that you feel the most comfortable in one-on-one situations. So of course, what you could do, and I feel like here's what your urge to do is your urge is to put yourself into the opposite of what you actually want, to force yourself out of comfort zone. So your urge is to put yourself inside the trauma so that you can get over it and move on. So I feel like that's good. Okay, that's cool. You can do that. But also you can work with knowing how you are. And when you work with your fears and say like, okay, I know that I don't do the best in group situations. I know that I do really well in one-on-one. So actually, because what I'm really wanting is like, I don't want to do this thing where my nervous system is always freaked the fuck out. Like I need a break from that. It's too much. That's why I had to step away, because too much pressure was building. And so you don't need to immediately go and put yourself back in the fires of pressure, because that's what the temptation is. So instead, what I would do is moderate the pressure. Yes, of course, you need to be able to step back in the pressure and know that you can step out of it whenever you want. So I really wouldn't go and like immediately put myself into a traumatizing situation because I need to rip off the Band-Aid and get it over with and do something right now. Right? What I would do is I would say, okay, I'm ready to like do this, and I want to be able to do this efficiently and effectively and in a more calm manner. My children are distracting. Kai? No.
He was trying to spit water.
Don't spit. So what you can do is, you can say, okay, I want to be able to step back into the fire, but I want to be able to do it more calmly than normal. So how can I balance those two? So what that would look like, I think, is number one, having a private mentor to be able to help me organize my thoughts and like make a plan of action. It doesn't need to be okay, ABC, this is what I do, but like a general, okay, let's have some accountability, let's get the energy moving, and let's create a flow going forward. This is what you're really wanting, and to be able to stay focused. Because what happens is, your old way of doing something is, okay, this is what I'm scared of, so I'm going to do what I'm scared of right now in order to heal myself so I'm not scared of it. And that is hard on the nervous system. So if I want to do this more gently, I'm going to not be exposed to the fear everywhere in my life. Like I'm still willing to work through my fears and do the damn thing, but I need places of calmness so that I can step out of the fear sometimes and not just be like, bah! You know? So I think that a structured plan could be, okay, this is the spot that I go to gain clarity and really gain, okay, what are my next actions that I want to take? And then I can do that. And then I can go out into this other world, and then I can put my thing out there, and then I can come back to my mentor and be like, okay, I did it. I did it. Okay. Woosah. Okay. I'm calm again. Now what? Like, this is the thing that I feel that your soul is wanting, because she does want to break through fears. She does want to take those leaps, but what you were doing before is taking 5 million leaps all at once. And then it was just like constant. I know the exact feeling. Like just this constant pressure and just this constant push. So the next step for you will be being able to do that with balance. Okay, pressure, release the pressure. Pressure, release the pressure when it becomes too much. So then you're not having to crash and like leave for 3 months or whatever it is. So learning how to roll with energy and learning how to see the energy, feel it coming, and then decide what you're going to do with the energy, ride the energy, and then push it out. Yeah. Because what I really feel for you is you're not afraid to take the big, bold leaps. You're afraid of what happens after you take the leap. So it's like doing the thing is actually not hard. It's the aftermath of doing the thing. That's what you're afraid of. And where this has come from is you spent so much time doing the thing, action, go. Don't rest, don't let it catch up. And then all of a sudden, boom, crash. There's the aftermath, right? So when you can learn to ride energy instead of just letting energy hit you, this is going to be huge. So the first thing that you could do is, number one, my exquisite business mastery program, which is literally about this, learning how to ride energy. So you could do that. It's $333 on replay. Or the next thing that I think would help you more is it feels like you'd be a good fit for the mastermind, because then you're getting like actual personalized stuff. And in those 10 days, we could form structures if you want, and strategies and branding and marketing. And then not only are you getting it just like boom, and then like you're not having to just like listen to something and then be like, okay, I see how this applies to me. Because that takes even more brain power. And I just feel like the spot that you're in right now, you want to be able to take the least amount of brain power and then just go and run with it. As soon as you feel slowed down, you get discouraged and then you self-sabotage. I know that. Like I just know that even by feeling your energy, I know that. So what happens is your pattern is you keep going and you keep going and you keep going because you don't want to take a break, because you feel like if you take a break, then you'll have to go even faster. And then when things start catching up and then you feel like you're behind, then you get discouraged and then you almost purposely burn everything to the ground so that will have to start over because you're like, oh, fuck, this is too much. I just can't do it. And then blow it all up, right? Yeah. So the thing that I feel would be good for you is either doing the one-on-one 10-day Voxer, because then you don't have to listen to what anybody else has to say. So you don't have to be overwhelmed by that, and you can just have a focus, and you don't have to be worried about feeling insecure and holding back and this and that. So that's the first choice you could do. 10 days in Voxer, rolling conversation, amazing for when you're with kids. You don't have to worry about schedules. We just go back and forth. That's 1,111. Option number 2 is, okay, maybe I want something at a different price point. I'm going to do the mastermind, which is $333. I'm going to know that there are other women in there. And I know that I like connecting with women. It's not that I don't like connecting with women. But I do know I have the tendency to get overwhelmed, or I have the tendency to hold back. So in joining this, I would have to know that those are the things that I have to man up and heal. And am I willing to put myself into that situation where it might feel a little bit uncomfortable and I might also get some healing out of it? So the one-on-one is going to be easier for sure, because I don't have to worry about my own insecurities. And option number 2 is going to have some learning curves with it. And it's going to be some growing, and it's going to be exposing myself to some fear. And it's also going to be amazing if I show up and I ask for what I need. So 10 days one-on-one, 1,111. 10 days mastermind, 333. The amazing part of that is that in both of those, you get attention on you. That's the key component, and it's intuitive, it's channeled, it's all of that stuff. So I am going to wrap up now because my children are now digging in the candy jar. I can hear them, and you already heard me yell at them once. Kai was spitting water on his brother. The biggest thing right now, the phase that they're in is fighting. Like it's the fighting phase. So that's the biggest challenge right now. Like they'll fight literally over a stick. Like whose stick? Kai has my stick. Akio's looking at me. Oh my God. Thanks, that's what I needed. Personalized support. Thank you so much. Yes. So do you guys see too how like the power of talking to people instead of talking at them? So like I could have easily, please don't judge me for my moment of yelling at them. I did make them come inside for the bear. Like that was a mom win. I could have like ignored and pretended it didn't matter, but I made sure the bear didn't eat them. But do you guys notice how when I came on here, I was talking with people, like you felt like you were in a conversation, and I'm really not being different right here than I am being with my husband. I'm not being a different person with my best friend as I am being here. I'm not being a different person on my one-on-one calls than I am being here. I'm always being me. I'm always fully being me. So I don't talk one way on my professional page. I don't put my professional hat on and talk to you guys in my professional way. I talk to you guys the same way I would talk to my friend who I've been friends with since I was 13. I don't say the proper thing because I'm not proper. I don't say, you know, when you're gonna penetrate with a guy, I say when you're gonna have the dick in your puss. Because that's how I talk. Maybe sometimes I'm in the mood to like say the word penetration, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like there's nothing wrong with talking in a more professional way if that's how you are and that is your way of being. The point is be who you are. Don't change who you are so that you seem more knowledgeable. Like, don't give me the fucking educator version of yourself. Just give me the normal version of yourself who talks normally and doesn't use big words in order to sound smarter and like all this and that. Have you guys seen like my posts? Half of them have spelling mistakes in them. I didn't graduate. You can tell. But anyways, like people constantly message me to tell me about my grammar mistakes and I don't even go back and fix them. That's how much I don't care. But that is the grand scheme. So anyways, I love all you guys and thank you for putting up with my yelling children, and thank you for the dick and the puss talks, and thank you for owning your slut, and thank you for coming here and listening. And it was so fun. Like Scarlett, Corey, Kristen, all of the people who got read, Natalia. It was so amazing to connect with you. And I'm going to see you on the internet. Yes, I'll see you on the internet. Everybody, Corey, Kristen, I'll see you in the group chat. Love you.